are you guys doing today? My name is Gerard Walsh, and I'm here to inform you guys, but more than inform you guys, I would really like to persuade you guys against the usage of these bigger drugs, but in this case, I'm going to be talking about heroin with you guys. My goal is to really sway you guys against this idea of this harder drug, because it really is a way to ruin your life very fast. Well, we all have things in our lives that we love, right? Some people love baseball, some people love exotic cars, but imagine loving that thing so much that it consumes your everyday. And then when you don't have it, your body fights against you. Now, that doesn't sound like something you would want to love, right? Well, today I'm here to inform you of the causes, the statistics, and the effects of heroin addiction. Well, my personal reason for doing this is a little deep. I've had family directly affected by this epidemic of addiction that we face in the United States, and it's very hard to watch and it's very hard to see. And if I could say anything or do anything that would help people stay away from this drug, then that would be my biggest goal here. Well, to start off, I would like to try to persuade you guys by at least letting you guys know about the causes of heroin addiction and some statistics surrounding the heroin use. It's very easy to get addicted to things in your life, but heroin usually starts with a gateway drug, something like weed or alcohol. As a teenager, you start drinking alcohol, you start smoking weed, and then by the time you're 17, 18, let's try some psychedelics. That's not enough for me anymore. Let's try some opioids. That's not enough, and then you graduate. It's all a graduation. It's all a hierarchy of drugs that you go up, unfortunately. According to Seven Hills Biology, heroin addiction can be caused by environmental, physical, or genetic factors. Although it also states that people who grew up around opioid use are more inclined to use it, which I have to disagree with myself, because as of somebody who saw opioid use young, that was disgusting. It stirred me away from it. I wanted nothing to do with it. It really ruined lives very close to me, and it's a cancer. And I disagree with this, but part of the research. According to CDC, 9 out of 10 heroin users started with another drug. Nobody really just hopped right on the heroin bandwagon. It started with alcohol, it started with the weed, and then it progressed itself, unfortunately, for certain people. Another point I have is a lot of statistics surrounding heroin usage and overdoses. They're very, very alarming. They've been constantly on the rise, especially in the last 10 years, since 2010. According to drugabuse.gov, 80% of these heroin addicts have reported misuse of opioid products first, which blows my mind, because think about the graduation scale. As I was just saying, you get to the opioids and that's it. That's the peak. Then you're on to heroin. It's an absolute shame that people have to go through this and people have to learn the hard way, but that's why I'm here to tell to you guys about it. Hopefully you guys will listen and appreciate what I'm saying to you guys today. According to the Statistical Abstract of the United States, from 2010 to 2017, heroin addiction has increased 5 times over, which blows my mind. It's insane. It's upsetting, but it's a reality. According to the Statistical Abstract again, in 2017, over 15,000 people died of heroin overdose. The demographic was males aged 25 to 44. They had the highest death rate at 15 per 100,000, which is pretty insane. Another point that I have for you guys today is drug addiction can affect the individual, but not only the individual, it can affect the people closest to them. And in my case, that was me. I'll get into that, but I had a family member who was addicted to heroin. But so it's the most powerful drug you could have ever imagined. It shifts every reality that you could have ever had. It really ruins you. It fries your brain, and it's really, really sad that people really struggle with this, man. It's very sad. According to the SAMHSA organization, long-term heroin use can take toll on physical and mental dependency, which usually occurs a few hours after the drug is taken. So what this means is, once you're addicted, you're locked in. Say I'm a heroin addict. I shoot up around 2 o'clock. I'm not high anymore, but my body is craving that high. So this dependency, without the next batch of heroin, I'm going through withdrawals. So you need to just keep doing this heroin, which raises your tolerance, which makes it harder to get high, which means you take more, and the more you take, the more chance there is for an overdose. So it's a very toxic cycle. Once you get into the cycle, you better quit before it's too late. All I could say to you. According to the SAMHA, heroin can also cause deterioration of white matter inside of your brain, which can affect decision making and to the ability to regulate your behavior. Proofs in the pudding. Heroin addicts can't quit heroin, first off because it's addictive, and second off because their brain is beginning to get fried. They can't make their own decisions. They're losing who they are, and it's a shame. Well, how many of you guys have siblings? And not only that, wouldn't you trust them with your life? Well, unfortunately for my mother, she learned the hard way. I had an Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike was a good guy. Loved the Yankees, loved jazz music, but he loved heroin. And my mother never really let me get too close with him. I would see him at family parties. I just knew there was something off about him. And now that I'm older, I know why. My mother told me that when they were younger, he was always been addicted to drugs. It started with weed and alcohol, and it progressed. And we're all college students. I think it's safe to say a lot of us partake in activities maybe we shouldn't. And keep in mind that these decisions you make young, they affect your brain patterns, they affect your brain waves, and they affect the way you make your decisions. And the more you put this toxicity into your life, the more likely it is to bite you in the butt down the line. So just keep that in mind, because that's exactly what happened to my uncle. He was young, he drank, he smoked weed. As time went on, he started to, this is back when Quaaludes were very popular, he went out to Quaaludes, wasn't enough for him, opiates, wasn't enough for him, heroin. My uncle died before I was born, and I've also had other family members who have been in this toxic cycle. So, pretty much, the whole point of this whole speech was not to scare anybody, but the real reason was to talk to you guys, to give you guys a level head, somebody who's seen it from my side. This could really affect people. This could really ruin lives, and I would hate to see any of my classmates or anybody I know enter this toxic cycle when it's very avoidable. So to conclude, I just all hope you guys understand the serious problem that this epidemic is, of this epidemic of heroin addiction, and how greatly it could affect not only you, but your family, the people you love. So anybody is susceptible to this heroin addiction, but it's a matter of what you do before it. Always just try to keep yourself on the straight and narrow. Pretty much, because this will ruin your life. I just really don't want to see anybody be affected by this. I hope you guys learned. I hope you guys understood more than learned. I hope you guys took something out of this more than just a speech. This is more of a personal PSA that things bad can go wrong, and I'm here to try to persuade you guys to just stay away from it as much as you can. Thank you all for listening.